Hi, I'm Benji.
I'm Liv.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Mar.
And I'm Dominic.
And we're presenting on our action project where we partnered with Our Climate to make a climate fair. We expect that this video might be a little different from the others as our event that we've planned all quarter working on hasn't happened yet. But this provides us with a great opportunity to advertise the event to those who we know care about the environment, you guys. So if you're interested in helping out, there's a link in the description and on this poster for you guys to sign up.
All right, so the climate fair will be held on May 31st at Nathan Hale High School in the Northgate neighborhood of Northeast Seattle. The day is designated as the Climate Day of Action, and the 800 plus students at the school have the entire day off to attend this event. It'll begin with a series of workshops that the students and other attendees can cycle through to learn things like how to deal with climate grief and anxiety. There's also a variety of organizations hosting these workshops, including 350 Seattle, FutureWise, the Seattle Aquarium, and more. And then after a couple of rotations, we'll do a short break and we'll begin the giant human mural with all of the attendees. So if you're unfamiliar with the human mural, the idea is that we'll organize students into letters on the field to spell out a message and then photograph it from above with a drone. This fair has gone through many iterations before it ended up here, but we're really happy with how it's looking. We went into this project not really knowing what to expect. None of us had organized an event like this before. So we were definitely uncomfortable with the prospect, but we soon came to find out that it was a super collaborative process. Our first idea was to brainstorm ideas for the fair. When we hopped on, the idea had not been fully fleshed out by our supervising organization, Our Climate. So we got a big say in what the event was going to look like. We initially thought that the event would consist of a few workshops and lines of tables hosted by partner organizations. So our first responsibility was to brainstorm ideas for said tables. We came up with lots, upcycling station, printmaking with plants, workshops on planting and propagating, but we ended up going in a different direction. So instead, we decided that our partner organizations were going to run 10 45-minute workshops throughout the morning. So the next step was to find organizations that would be interested in participating. And this was definitely our first huge roadblock. We reached out to all types of community organizations, but first we wanted to focus on the ones that we were a part of so we could leverage our personal connections. And then when that was unsuccessful, we reached out to other organizations like RSOs, like the Fish and Turtle Club and the Bioengineers Without Borders. But again, we had no luck in getting people to commit to attending.
We also reached out to organizations like the P-Patch and the UW Center for Urban Horticulture, hoping to involve them in the climate fair. My goal is to have these organizations host workshops to educate people about the crucial connection between climate change and our food systems. Unfortunately, we didn't hear back from them either. I also reached out to the Food Systems, Nutrition, and Health capstone class, but they were already engaged with other community partners for their projects and were unable to participate in our workshops. However, this experience reminds me of the importance of collaboration and the need to engage different community members and stakeholders to address the challenges ahead caused by climate change. I just want to take this time to give y'all a friendly reminder about the importance of eating sustainably. The most important thing you can do right now is vote with our dollar. Shop at your farmer's market, choose the mom and pop shop, and try and keep your food circle small. Supporting local producers is one of the most important steps we can take as consumers. Avoid corporate food and try your hand at small home vegetable garden if you have the available space. Every small step we take can contribute to a more sustainable future.
Yeah, so it was quite discouraging to run into such a major issue so early on in the process. But our site supervisor, Grace, made sure to assure us that it was a very normal part of the process. Cold emailing strangers is quite difficult, and we should try not to expect a response every time. But in the end, we ended up with enough organizations to run the morning's workshops. So then our next big task was to coordinate the human mural. One of our partner organizations working on the fair with us, Climate Action Families, has done a human mural like this in the past, but never to this scale. We decided that the message is going to be the same as their human murals before, spelling out climate justice now. And we quickly realized that coordinating 800 high school students was going to be a big task and that we needed to recruit outside help. So to recruit people, which you can see on this poster, we created a QR code to a Google form where people can sign up for the day's events and attach that code to this flyer and other virtual flyers. And this was really our last step in coordinating this event. Now all we have to do is just the event itself.
All right. So after we ran into many issues with recruiting throughout the organizational process, it was honestly decided we would work with the community rather than college students as we may have initially thought. By partnering with climate action families, as well as our climate, it helped us jumpstart a major part of the planning process. Since we ended up working with the local school to hold this event, the pivot allowed us to reach more people and work with a community most of us are not very familiar with. It allowed us to connect with those who are younger and eager to help with the solution to climate change. It was encouraging as the school had already pre-planned to not hold classes to focus on climate justice on that day. This honestly created a huge relief on our shoulders, as well as Grace and all of the others who were working tirelessly to put on this event. Nathan Hale High School was a lifesaver, to be honest. They are allowing us to come in and put on this event for their students. While planning this event, we were connected with one of the people from Climate Action Families, and we were able to meet with him and discuss both the logistics of the event as well as how we were going to accomplish the great feat of organizing this human mural. I'm going to once again ask, please sign up. Between all of the organizations we reached out to and the very few that responded to us, as well as the connections Grace and our climate had already, we were able to set up the full day's worth of workshops at the high school, culminating in the human mural we had mentioned earlier.
For future climate projects, we recommend having more information about the actual fair before emailing organizations. We found that people may not have responded due to simply the lack of information that we had. Having the date, location, and timing is necessary to get commitment right off the bat, instead of just gauging interest, which is what we were doing. Our group's internal communication, however, was a great blueprint for successful project communication. We had a very active group chat with our NGO rep and weekly check-in calls to see how our outreach was going. However, we needed more accountability between our group members to see which organizations were being contacted and which were agreeing to participate. Outreach simply ended up not moving forward fast enough. One of our biggest takeaways that we had was that we needed to branch out from the connections we already had. We contacted a lot of University of Washington organizations, program on the environment professors, and our own jobs, but didn't garner much success. The commitments we got in the end were mostly from the NGOs and companies that Grace had already contacted.
Additionally to seeing the potential of the communities around us, this project helped us develop more personal skills of coordination and outreach. From the start of the process, it was a little difficult to know where to start. Oftentimes, we did some research on what people or organizations we wanted to help us, and who would most likely participate, but it was difficult to find that coordination. To be honest, we want to thank Grace for all of her support. She was always a person to go to when we needed her help with recruiting, and she's organized these types of events in the past, so it's become second nature to her. She was very open and honest with us about how we should go about reaching out to different organizations. Our meetings with her were always very open, and she gave us the space to hash out our next steps as we were not always getting many responses. She was also a huge help in connecting us to other groups to help coordinate the event. Thank you to her for all her support and guidance throughout this process. Overall, we learned a lot about the work in the environmentalist field and what it looks like and what roles we can play in the day-to-day. While the event still hasn't happened yet, the majority of our role was behind the scenes to get ready for the big day. It's given us a different perspective for the work that has to be done before events actually happen and the importance of coordination. Overall, we've learned valuable skills in communication and organization. And personally, it's a little fascinating to see the concepts that we've learned in class come into real life. While we're a small group, we're still part of a larger system, and we need as much help as we need to achieve our goal.
If y'all who are watching want to help or just want to come see what the event is all about, come to Nathan Hale High School on Wednesday, May 31st. The event will run during the school day, so it's going to be from about 8 to 2 p.m. If you actually really want to help, I'm going to once again, please sign up through the QR code on the screen in the description, because we're really going to need volunteers. So please sign up. You will find that you do not need to commit to both the setup for the mural and the actual mural itself if you do not have time, and you can choose what area you may want to help in. Please come, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you for watching this video.
Thank you. Join us.